Hi, welcome to Hushed Stories. Tonight, you are a passenger on the Midnight Sleeper, a long, warm train that pulls out of Edinburgh just after midnight and winds slowly through the heart of the Scottish Highlands while the rest of the world sleeps. Your private cabin is already made up and waiting for you, crisp white linen, a thick tartan wool blanket, a brass reading lamp glowing amber against paneled wood. Outside, the whole dark country stretches ahead, moorland and mountain, pine forest and loch, one vast and ancient silence after another. And all you have to do is let the train carry you through all of it. Before we even reach the platform, take a slow breath in. All the way in and let it go. Long, easy, complete. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel the weight of your body settling into whatever is beneath you right now. The mattress, the sofa cushion, the pillow you have already claimed as your own. Whatever tension has gathered in your neck, in the place between your shoulder blades, or in the quiet clench of your jaw, let all of it begin to soften now. Not forced, just allowed. You have nowhere to be tonight. You have nothing left to manage. The day is fully behind you, and what remains of this night belongs entirely to you. Let your thoughts slow, the way a town slows when you drive through it late at night. The same streets, the same buildings, but something gentler about them now. Something that asks nothing. Let them pass one by one. No need to follow. Just let them move on through and feel the space they leave behind, warm and still and expanding, filling slowly with the one thing you need most right now. Rest. The platform at Edinburgh Waverley is a different world at this hour. You reach it through the quieter eastern end of the station, down a corridor of pale stone that carries the particular echo of late-night places. Footsteps too clear, sounds arriving a half-second after they should, as though the building itself is beginning to dream. The air is cool and faintly damp, carrying the mineral smell of the tracks, the old stone of the vaulted roof overhead, and the clean, dark edge of an October night pressing in. A fine mist has come down with the evening, making every light bloom softly at its edges, turning the amber station lamps into something almost floral, each one ringed with a soft corona of gold. The sleeper train is already waiting. It appears at the far end of the platform with the patient certainty of a thing that has made this journey 1,000 times and intends to make it 1,000 more. It is a long, dark form stretching away down the platform, and its windows glow with a warm amber light that looks like lanterns or small fires burning steadily inside a moving house. You walk toward them, and with every step, something tightly wound and quietly persistent inside you begins, to loosen. A handful of other passengers are making their way along the platform in the same unhurried direction. A man with a green canvas hold-all, a woman in a long rain jacket looking up at the station roof with a small private smile, a couple sharing the weight of a single soft bag between them. No one is rushing. The midnight sleeper has about it a different quality of time, the slow, wide kind, where urgency has simply ceased to apply. You find your carriage and climb the short steps into the body of the train, and the world changes the instant you are inside. Warmer, immediately and completely, the warmth of a closed space that has been heating gently for hours. A narrow corridor runs the length of the carriage, lit by small circular ceiling lamps that cast a gentle, even glow. You count along until you find your door, press the small handle, and step inside. The cabin is small and beautifully contained, as though the space itself has organized around the sole intention of keeping you safe and warm. The bed runs along the right-hand wall, narrow and properly made, the white linen crisp and pulled tight at the corners. At the foot of the bed, folded in a neat rectangle, is a Highland tartan blanket in deep navy and forest green. You can tell at a distance that it is dense and substantial, the kind of warmth that comes from proper heavy wool. A small brass reading lamp is fixed to the paneled wall just above the head of the bed, turned to its lowest setting, filling the cabin with a light the color of old honey. On the fold-down shelf opposite, a small tartan thermos sits beside two shortbread biscuits wrapped in brown paper. A hand-printed card leans against the thermos. Welcome aboard. Inverness by first light. Sleep well. You hold the card for a moment, feeling the simple sincerity of the words. It feels earned. It feels true. You hang your coat on the hook behind the door and sit on the edge of the bed. The mattress receives your weight exactly as a good mattress should, firm at its heart, but padded on top, offering just enough give to feel like acceptance. You reach for the thermos. The tea inside is strong and dark amber and steaming, and you hold the cap-turned cup in both hands, feeling the heat moving upward through your palms and into your fingers. You sit there, in this small lamplit room, with the tea and the warmth and the tartan blanket, watching the mist move through the platform lamplight outside. And you let yourself simply be here. The shortbread, when you take a bite, is buttery and slightly sweet, crumbling with a richness that means someone made it properly. It is the most satisfying thing you have tasted all day. The departure is so gentle, you almost miss it. There is a low deepening in the sound beneath your feet, the engine's voice shifting from rest into readiness. And then the platform begins, very slowly. to slide past the window. The amber lamps pass in increasing intervals, the mist moving more quickly through the light, and then the station opens and retreats. The city arrives on all sides, and the rocking begins. It is lateral, gentle, as even as breathing, as though the train is settling into the rhythm of the tracks the way you settle into the rhythm of a familiar walk. You feel it through the mattress and the soles of your feet, and the sound of the wheels on the rails builds from a murmur to a cadence, and then into something you stop hearing as a sound and simply begin to inhabit. A continuous, physical fact of forward motion, as steady and reliable as a heartbeat. Edinburgh gives itself up slowly outside the window. The old stone tenements move past with their lit windows, offering small, wordless glimpses of life. A kitchen with a yellow lamp burning over a table. A window full of books backlit by something warm. The castle appears briefly on its volcanic rock, lit in pale gold against the low, overcast sky, ancient and enormous, and completely unbothered by the hour. You watch it for the few seconds the train's northward curve allows, and then the older city retreats behind the newer residential terraces. The lights thin, the gaps grow longer, the fields begin, and then only the dark remains, and the steady, patient, forward rhythm of your journey north. The rain arrives somewhere north of the Forth, without announcement, without drama, just a soft and sudden ticking against the glass that registers first as a change in the ambient texture of sound. It deepens into a gentle hiss as the train's speed draws the drops sideways across the pane, leaving long diagonal silver lines that catch the light. Through those lines, the Perthshire countryside is still legible, dark fields swelling into gentle undulations, and the distant amber of a farmhouse window set in the middle of surrounding black. So complete, it looks like a lamp floating in open water. Someone still awake at this hour, a kettle perhaps, a light left burning. Brief and warm, and then behind you before you can wonder about it further. The sound of the rain against the window is something you had forgotten existed quite like this. It asks nothing. It simply falls against the glass and runs down it and falls again, entirely at ease with its own repetition. The sound of being precisely where you are with precisely what you have. You pull the tartan blanket up over your legs and feel its dense, lanolin warmth settle across you. You let out a slow breath, sinking a little deeper into the pillow, while outside, the Perthshire countryside goes on in the rain, unhurried and enormous, and entirely at peace with the dark. You pass through Pitlochry without stopping, just the lit platform sliding past like a small stage set briefly revealed by a moving light. The stone station building solid and empty and untroubled by the hour. Beyond the platform, the town is deeply asleep. The pale gleam of the river Tummel passing under a stone bridge, moving fast and black in the rain. Then the forest closes in on both sides. The sound of the wheels changes briefly as the track enters the trees. The rain slightly filtered, diffused, softened into something less like weather and more like atmosphere. Scots pines press close on either side, tall and dark and dense, their upper reaches lost entirely in the overcast. There is a self-contained fullness to a pine forest at this hour, the feeling of a world that has been quietly itself for a very long time and does not require your presence to continue. You watch the dark trunks passing and feel a warm, unhurried suspension settle across you. The feeling of being in motion without being in a hurry, of heading somewhere without being needed anywhere. Blair Athol appears briefly through a gap in the trees. Beyond the small station, standing back against the hillside, Blair Castle reveals an impossible whiteness in the middle of all this Highland dark. Its turrets and tower catch some unlikely marriage of moonlight and overcast glow, looking like a place that exists most fully at exactly this hour, glimpsed through a rain-blurred window at 2 in the morning. You watch it for the few seconds the train allows, and then it is behind you. The pines return, and the dark returns, and the castle goes on being exactly what it is, back there in the night, doing precisely what ancient things do. The trees fall away somewhere above the forest line, and the world opens on either side into the long, treeless upland approaching Drumachter Pass. The moorland stretches in every direction without interruption. Heather and peat, pale sedge grass in long, rippled sweeps, the occasional gleam of standing water in a hollow catching ambient brightness from the low overcast. There are no lights out there, not a farmhouse, not a road, not a single point of human presence anywhere in any direction. Just the moor going on until it becomes the dark, and somewhere above all of it, the wind moves in long, cold arcs across the plateau, pressing against the windows of the train with a sound like breath held and released, held and released again, the Highland upland breathing its slow, cold breath around you, while the vast darkness looks quietly in through the glass. But you are inside. You are warm in a way that is specific and remarkable. The warmth of a small heated room within a cold and open world, warmth that has depth and meaning because of the cold pressing just outside. You pull the tartan blanket a little higher across your chest, feeling the wool against your chin, the mattress receiving the full weight of your body. Outside, the wind moves across the moor in the dark, and you feel entirely held, included in something. The warmth of the cabin and the cold of the moor are partners, and the train is the hinge between them, and you are safe inside it. And this is exactly where you should be. A deep, slow roll of thunder moves across the moor somewhere west of the track. Not close, not frightening, just the sound of something enormous shifting its weight in the dark. A low percussion that travels more through the floor of the cabin than through the air, vibrating very slightly in the wall beside you. From inside this small, warm, lamplit room, the thunder is simply magnificent. The world outside is vast and ancient, doing its weather with complete indifference to human schedules. And from in here, warm and rocking and held, that indifference is not something to worry about. It is something beautiful. You feel it in your chest long after the sound has passed, a deep resonance, something in you recognizing something in the moor. Dalwhinnie appears in the darkness below, a small constellation of lights at the edge of a loch. The distillery buildings pale against their own reflection in the black water. A handful of cottages sit back from the road, with one or two windows still lit warm amber. You watch it pass, feeling a kind of wistful alertness, an awareness of the other lives contained in those small lit windows, the ordinary miracle of people being safe in their own small rooms while the weather moves across the moor. Then the loch falls behind, the lights go out, and the train is simply moving north again. The wheels finding their rhythm, the rain finding its rhythm, you finding yours. Somewhere south of Aviemore, there are two soft knocks at the cabin door. The door opens a few inches, and a woman appears. She is older, with close-cropped silver hair, and a navy cable-knit jumper worn over her uniform jacket, carrying a small enamel mug in one hand and a folded fleece blanket in a warm, heathery purple in the other. Her face is settled, unhurried, genuinely at ease in the small hours. "Thought you might like something a little warmer," she says, her accent soft Scots, the vowels long and rounded, the whole sentence delivered with the easy certainty of someone who already knows the answer. The mug contains cocoa, thick and dark, made with real milk, a slight sweetness beneath the bitterness of good chocolate. She sets the fleece blanket at the foot of the bed with the ease of someone who considers this simply part of the journey rather than anything exceptional. She glances at the rain on the window, then back at you, with an expression that carries all the warmth a smile contains. The the look of someone who has watched this landscape move past through many Highland winter nights and made a deep and settled peace with every one of them. The door closes gently behind her, and the cabin is quiet again. You hold the cocoa in both hands and drink it slowly. It warms you all the way through, carrying the specific comfort of someone having thought about your needs while you were simply existing. You unfold the fleece blanket over the tartan wool, and the combined weight of the two is so thoroughly satisfying. You can hardly believe you were warm before. Layer on layer, the physical equivalent of being gently and completely held. You think of fires, the color of banked coals in deep, patient red, the low, continuous murmur of embers doing their quiet work through the dark. You imagine a fire burning low in the small waiting rooms at the Highland stations behind you now, warming the empty stone, filling the benches with warmth for no one in particular. Just burning because fire burns, and this is what it does. It is a pleasant thought, the kind that belongs only to this hour, when the mind is warm enough and still enough to wander into small, comfort-lit places without purpose. Something happens somewhere between Kingussie and Aviemore that you cannot quite locate in time. A background hum that has been present all day, the residue of decisions, of deadlines, of small, persistent negotiations, is simply no longer there. The silence where that noise used to live is so comfortable and so complete that you notice it before you can name what filled it. And then you stop trying to name it, because the train is still moving north through the dark. The rain is still on the window, and there is genuinely nothing you need to figure out tonight. The rain is softer now. You notice this gradually, the way you discover that a piece of music has changed key without knowing exactly when the change occurred. The drops on the window are lighter, their trails longer and slower, and the sound of them has moved below what you consciously register. It has become part of the fabric of the cabin, part of the atmosphere rather than an event within it, a condition rather than a sound, a quality of the world outside that makes the world inside more itself. Warmer by contrast, stiller by contrast, more entirely yours. You are very warm. Not just the surface warmth of blankets, but the deeper warmth of a body that has been horizontal and still long enough to truly let go. The distinction between your arm and the mattress beneath it has become pleasantly unclear. Your legs have settled into a stillness that feels like preference rather than restraint. The pillow is cool at the edges where your face is not touching it, and warm where it is. And the difference between the two is a small and perfect thing. The brass reading lamp still burns its low amber above the head of the bed. But you don't need to reach for the switch. Your eyes have made their own arrangements, closing softly, without any instruction from you. The darkness behind them is warm at the edges, brown gold from the lamp filtering through closed lids. And then even that fades. The dark is simply dark, and you are in it, and it is the most comfortable thing. The Highland country goes on outside. You know the Cairngorm Plateau is somewhere to the east, holding its altitude quietly in the dark. You know the River Nairn is moving fast and cold between its banks, carrying water toward the sea without hurry or rest. The ancient Scots pines are standing in the rain along the Moray Firth, doing their slow and immense arboreal work, as they have done for centuries before any train existed to pass through them. You know all of this is out there, existing perfectly without your eyes on it, and it brings a profound sense of peace. The world is large, and it does not need you to be awake to continue being large. The train does not need you to be awake to carry you north. This is the finest thing about a sleeper train. The journey continues in your absence. It will go on through the long curves above the Moray Firth, past Foras and Nairn, and the gentle approaches to Inverness, and you will miss all of it and lose none of it. You will arrive whether you are awake or not, which means you can give the journey up entirely. You can release the watching and the noticing and simply be carried. The train is doing the work. The rain is doing the work. The night itself is doing the work. All you have to do is nothing at all. The wheels are turning. You can feel them below you, moving through the mattress and into the length of your body, steady and continuous. Forward and forward and forward. They have been doing this since Edinburgh without hesitation, and they are asking nothing of you. The rain goes on against the glass, very soft now, a presence rather than a sound. The blankets are heavy above you, wool and fleece, warmth built upon warmth. The weight of them is exactly right. Your breathing is very slow, slower than you knew, slower than breathing ever seems when you are paying any attention to it at all. You are breathing at the pace of a warm body, in a dark room, on a rocking train, in the middle of an enormous Highland night, deep and wide and beautifully unhurried. The wheels turn. The rain falls soft on the glass, soft on the heather, soft on the surface of the lochs lying still and dark in the valleys below. The pines stand in the rain. The cairngorms hold their altitude. The moor receives and endures, as it has done since the ice retreated and left the land open and the sky very large. You cross the threshold sometime in the last few minutes without noticing the exact moment of crossing, the way all the best arrivals happen. You are deep in it now, deep in the slow, warm, rocking dark of a Highland night moving past outside, the train carrying you forward as gently and as certainly as it has been carrying you since Edinburgh. The weight of the blankets is exactly right. The pillow beneath your head is exactly right. The lamp burns its low amber in a world you are no longer quite inhabiting, but that remains there regardless, warm and real, and in no hurry. The journey goes on. The night goes on. The train moves north through the oldest dark in Britain, patient and warm, carrying you gently toward first light. Sleep well.